bending and massaging your legs like that. Yeah, more massage.
Lean to the right and then to the left.
And
lean twice to the right and once to the left. Twice to the right.
And now
once to
massage
the
your
left.
arms instead. Yeah.
Stand up. Well, keep doing the leaning part. Twice to the right and once to the left.
And
as
then,
you do a figure
like
eight.
a big hug
As-
to yourself.
As
You're
you
hugging
do,
yourself.
As you do a figure
Like
eight.
you
around
love
the
yourself
chairs. Go a little
more
faster.
than anybody else in the world. You just love
Go a
yourself
little
more than
faster.
anybody
Go
else.
faster. Go faster. Go faster.
Now
And every
kiss
time-
yourself. Just kiss. Start kissing yourself
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Every time you go around. Every time you go around. Give her the.
Can I let go of the leaning part?
Yes. Sure. Let go of the
Mwah.
leaning part. Keep
Make a
contact
sound
me.
with the kiss.
Keep
A sound.
Mwah.
A
Keep-
sound with the
mwah.
kiss. A bigger
Mwah.
sound.
Keep contact with me, but never the same point. Always a different point of contact.
This is why you're too good at this.
Never the same point. Give up one for the other.
Okay. Let that go and start from the beginning.
Basically, it was my time-space study. The piece had very few rules. Put your money in the meter, in the parking meter. Dance till your time is up. The piece is over when we occupy an entire block with dancers and no cars. This photo is me handing out money on Westwood Boulevard. It was 1972. This is Bella Lewitsky, who agreed to park her car prior to the piece so that she could pull out and we would have a starting space. Which I think, you know, I was at CalArts. This was pretty far from CalArts, and just her willingness to come and support her student. That's the kind of teacher she was, and I sort of tried to remember that as I became a teacher. Like, put out for your students.
Hi, I'm Sue Roginski, and I'm sitting here next to Susan Rose, who is my mentor, my teacher, and my really good friend, and I am so honored to be next to her and talking about her work that she's contributed to UCR and the Gluck program, and also to many dancers over the years. Let's start from the beginning. Lean and massage. Massage and lean.
Twice to the right. Once to the left. Twice to the right.
Massage your
Stand
arms.
up and make a figure eight while you're doing that.
Hug yourself. You love yourself
I
more
love
than
myself.
anybody in the world.
So I came to UCR in 1989 from Boston, where I had a dance company for 13 years and a studio. I had just turned 42. I thought health insurance would be a good idea, and a salary. And I looked for a job and I got one. So I've been very, very lucky. And so I went through the ranks 23 or 24 years at UCR. I retired 3 years ago.
I met her in 2005 when I moved down here to go to graduate school. I moved down here from the Bay Area and I stayed. And part of why I stayed was because I was able to dance with Susan.
I think I asked Sue to join this work that I was about to proceed with probably in week 2 that she was here. It was like, okay, you want to play with me? I had just changed my interest to improv right about the time when Sue joined up with the crew, and so it was maybe the first time she was asked to, I'm not going to tell you what to do, you're going to do what you do and we're going to all respond to it. We had divided, I had come up with this sort of three-pronged thing to practice. When, which has to do with just, we could play when, it's just, it doesn't matter what you do, it just matters when you do it. in order to come up with some timings that were more interesting than I kept seeing on stage and feeling. And then where is the second thing we practice, and then what. What is what I think most choreographers start out with. What are you going to do? You're going to do this, followed by, it's a move. And she had a lot of what training.
That's so well said.
And I was asking, we didn't start with what. What was the third thing? The first thing was when, the second thing was where, and the third thing was what. This piece is called Light Contradictions.
The hard part is you have to do what you're being told to do at the same time you're telling the other person to do something. And it's supposed to happen at the same time.
The doing it at the same time part, and just trying to choreograph your way out of the trouble the other person gets you into with their instructions.
Keep gesturing like that. Your gestures bigger gestures.
Bigger gestures.
Nice.
Why don't you just nod your head?
Big
Yes,
gesture. Big
yes,
with
and
the
then
right.
no. Yes,
Big with
and
the
then
right
no.
hand. Now with the left.
For 3
Forgot the
counts,
left hand.
For 3 counts, yes, and for 2
For
counts,
3,
no.
2, and 3.
Could you
2,
just stand up, please?
3. Could you stand with me?
Take a little figure 8 circle around the
Figure
chairs.
8. Discuss my figure 8 elaborately
Make the
as
figure
I'm
8
doing
bigger
it.
as it
Describe
needs
it.
to be as we
Describe
go.
the
Just
8.
It's kind of slow. I think it could be faster. She's quite
Look to me.
smooth.
Look
Sit back down.
to the right.
Sit back down.
And
Please
on
sit
the
in that
left.
chair. That chair. No, never mind. This one.
Come closer with your chair. Be as close as possible without touching. Okay.
Stand up only when I sit.
Hug me.
Sit. Squeeze. Sit. Sit. You're not sitting.
Let go.
Sit.
Let go. Let go. Oh, good. Thank you. Okay.
Smile at the audience. Was I always an agitator? I am a red diaper baby, the child of communist parents. They were big agitators. I was quite silent, but participated on outings that were agitative. So I was passively agitating and then found my own ways. I prefer not to stand out too much myself, to agitate loudly, but to provoke agitation in other people and provoke agitation through art making. But to kind of stay inside the borders and a little bit invisible. So here's two people. Clearly this is later on in the piece. It started, I'll just go through these pretty quickly. This is where it started, so everybody's in one spot. And you can tell it's 1972, it's very hippie looking. There's no directions for what to do as vocabulary in the dance, just to occupy the space. And it got much more difficult as we gained more spaces, and like here we have only 2 people in this space. The piece ended, this is the end, they gave me this little ride on somebody's shoulders, but the piece ended when somebody called the police. They tried to run over one of the dancers. People were very annoyed that they could not park because it was being occupied by people. I think it was my first realization that just showing up as a body in some public, you think the rules for parking are you put your money in the meter and you have the space until the meter runs out. I didn't know for sure that it was only for cars. So this was my first kind of social experiment with bodies just showing up in places that are public, but maybe they're not. So there you go. I feel like I learned to see, yeah, definitely. I watched a lot. I was very silent. I have a twin brother who did all the talking for the twins. I probably said very little till I was 10 years old.
But
I never opened my mouth. No, somebody would say, how are the twins? And he would say, we're fine, or we've got the mumps, or whatever it is that we had. He spoke for both of us. I did not open my mouth much at all. There was no fighting. There was no, I was pretty much invisible. Yeah. So, being the child of communists, being a twin, and being the one who saw things, took care of things, but didn't say anything, that was, yeah, I think that is a big part of my choreographic preparation. Thing that I think of as a big input to my way, which came later, which was being connected to the artificial intelligence laboratory at MIT. Well, parallel processing, like this piece that we do where we tell each other what to do, was first done at MIT in the artificial intelligence laboratory as an example of parallel processing. So,
when was that? Parallel processing?
no, that piece was 1975. At the same dual, parallel processing. That, and parallel processing is something I've played with like ever since. My goal, and I finally did it with weather, I wanted to be able to send people out on stage and they could improvise a whole piece. I think we practiced a lot of things that all came together in this piece called Weather, 14 Structures for Change. And I think morphing was the heart of that piece.
And the cool part about that is you're supposed to not notice the other people in the group, but they're right, you can see them. So you can kind of predict that it's going to come around to you, but you have this job to really just focus on the person that you're following and trying to do it exactly how they did it.
So all the changes get built in. And then after they get that going for a while, then they have to start verbal morphing. Verbal morphing is the same as physical morphing. Is anybody could take anything that anybody said and use a word like flips on a word.
On a word.
You can, so it's a way to move the meaning. It was about to go that way, and then it turns a corner and it starts to go that way.
And around the corner from my house, there's a very large tree.
Like that. So she just turned the
leaves
corner.
Come down.
So this little piece of writing is called Guinevere's song, Telltale Signs. And behind this title, Guinevere's song, is when my brother was in the Cub Scouts. They were doing a King Arthur play. They needed a Guinevere. I was recruited to be Guinevere. My job is to go out on stage, scream so that I could be rescued by Sir who knows who. Okay, I get my Guinevere suit on, out on the stage. Time to scream. I open my mouth and nothing comes out. I absolutely could not produce a sound. Humiliated. Everybody starts laughing. This piece is called Guinevere's song because now, at the age of almost 70, I have a voice. This alchemy of turning the corner on a word meaning something or otherwise there for other folks to ponder the significance of the act. The act of acting out or inside the margins for comprehensions are blurred. Vision being less about seeing than feeling the heart of the whole process is intriguing. Henry waits for me to take him out to the ball game, take him out to the crowd of angry protesters gathered on the freeway of life. Orange is a new black-hearted leader of the free world crisis of mass hysteria about the future, now becoming the past too soon to rectify with rational thought. We might work it out of touch with the mass production system failure, heart failure, kidney failure of imagination, so what happened to crash the whole system? Overly pessimistic, I wish only for something else to be the change they want. Are they the same they that say they are in a better place? This is this and that is that's it. Grief counseling the president won't be easy, as he has no ears to hear you with, said the wolf to Little Red Riding Hood. Hoodlums and neighborhoods in chaos, not too far off in the upcoming and up-and-coming generation. Drinking water and waterboarding, all part of the whole pie, apple of your eye, no more than what is needed. Desiring more, no way in or out of touch-tone service with a smile. That's one paragraph. We had a lot of fun. I think
I like that one.
pretty much every rehearsal was fun, which is why we could keep showing up without performing, because it was fun. Okay, and then we would just start, and it's just incredibly gratifying to have had this group of dancers hang in, not knowing very much about what we were doing. The look of dancers working hard, I like that look. Yeah, and I think that's because I believe in movement. That's movement. That's dance. Like, things move. They change. You have to bring it on. Bring on the change. Just don't keep doing, or you're done. You know, everyone's bored.